The overarching goal for the US Pavilion and the US government for participating in the Milan Expo is really pretty simple. It's all about how do we feed 9 billion people by 2050. And it's an extraordinary task that needs to be taking place. And we've really come about it in a couple different ways. One is we're focusing on innovation, technology, and really entrepreneurship. So in order to achieve that goal, we need to do some things that are fundamentally different from what we're doing today. So we need to change technologies, invent sciences, and do something really creative in order to solve this problem. And the other part is we can't do it by ourselves. As the United States, we want to help lead that conversation, but we need partners around the world to help us with that whole process because we're all part of that 1 in 9 billion people. The messaging of the pavilion, it really hits people as soon as they walk into the pavilion because the first thing they hear is native Indians talking about how they loved the land and soil and how they really preserved it for generations and generations. Then you move up the boardwalk, as we call it, and you hear President Obama talk about you and I are part of the 1 in 9 billion, virtually everyone around the world is, and we have a responsibility as governments, as individuals, as NGOs, and as companies to do something fundamentally different about it. And then we try to educate people as you go around the pavilion about the importance of all different elements. So as an example, how technology plays, how farming plays, how policy has to play in that whole discussion. And we even built an integrated game in the middle of the pavilion that really helps people understand the interdependencies of each of these elements. When you leave the pavilion, we want you to have some fun. So we built behind the pavilion 6 food trucks that are a huge thing in the United States and really around the globe now. And what we're doing is celebrating food that we have in the United States and very casual food. The idea of 145 countries coming together in one place for a period of 6 months, I think is very extraordinary. All countries are talking to each other. I keep telling people it's sort of the UN without all the rules. So there's a whole series of things that are taking place here on this topic because everyone wants to solve this problem. We can disagree on maybe how we do it, but nobody disagrees on the problem or the idea that we all need to be at the table to solve it. So I think the sort of the community nature of what we're doing here is pretty extraordinary. And I give great tribute to the Italian government and people for having the vision and capability to pull it off.